It is such a pleasure to be in the presence of Thrity Engineer and Meher Engineer. Thrity, you're the author of Supercoherence, The Seventh Sense, and Supercoherence, The Return to Love, here, which I was absolutely blown away by your work, and I know you've both worked so hard on bioluminetics and the return to love frequencies. So I wanted to start by asking you to define supercoherence for me. We might as well go in deep.
Supercoherence, in a very simple form, is where the laws of love and light align to create the next evolutionary step for the human. And the key word, the root word, is coherence. And we understand coherence in this system differently than it is normally spoken about these days, because everybody is talking about coherence. And we understand it in a very precise way. And what I have to say is that whatever I say is based on the work of 20 plus years, since 1995 to be exact, where we worked with the extraordinary technology called the Luminator and the extraordinary imaging that came with that system. So everything is based on that work. And without VRIC imaging and the Luminator, I couldn't substantiate any of the things that I say. But this interview is not about bioluminetics, because that's a huge topic in itself. But what I just wanted to say was that it's based on that understanding. And that is a very profound and paradigm shift for humans, to have the Luminator come onto Earth and to permit us access to this other level of reality, which we have always kind of known but never been objectified. So coherence in our model, in the bioluminetics model and in the supercoherence model, is based on the understanding of the human being as a light form, as a light life form, who constantly emits a signal of light, which is either chaotic or coherent. And that can be imaged. And when the person thinks or makes a statement or has an intent, their photon emission will change from fuzzy to a clear photograph, depending on whether it is coherent or not. So it's a very precise parameter of human superfunction. That is supercoherence for us. In general, people talk about coherence as an alignment of sorts. An alignment is, it's a broad term. Here it's a very precise term. So we could, all the work that we did is based on that model. And it's dependent on thousands of photographs that were taken to substantiate what we do today. Today we don't do the imaging for various reasons. Because in fact, the job in one sense has already been done, because now the system has gone from bioluminetics to supercoherence. So it's taken a jump and a leap. But that's in essence what I call coherence. And I think it's the next evolutionary step for humans.
Okay. I agree. Meher, you have obviously a background as a GP and have moved into energetics. So from that medical background, but also as somebody who's very privy to the importance and significance of frequency and light emitters, what is your take on coherence?
I would agree with everything that Thrity said. And I would also just talk about the analogy between a light bulb and a laser that's mentioned in Thrity's first book, where a 60-watt light bulb would light a small room, but a 60-watt laser, which is exactly the same amount of power but differently organized, i.e. coherent light, has a completely different potential. And people have likened this to being able to, with a 60-watt laser, being able to put a spot of light on the moon, for instance, or cut through steel. it has a different potential just in the way that that light is organized. And for me, my understanding of supercoherence is when we are able to shift from being a 60 watt light bulb to a 60 watt laser, where we do have different potential available to us. So yeah, ask me the question again if you like.
It's not accessible. That potential is not normally accessible to humans, or it hasn't been. And there are many reasons for that. Primarily because of the load of the subconscious and the unconscious. Human history is a violent history. It's not fun. And who do we glorify? The great conquerors, creating havoc on earth. So the thing is that all of us have experienced trauma. And it's a very big statement, but all of us have experienced it, either in this lifehood or in others. And this trauma is hidden in the human system and prevents us from accessing that laser level, which always exists paradoxically in the same human at the same time. But it's not available. You can have an oil well, which is 100 feet below your house. It's there, but you don't have access to it, and you can't get the money for the oil. So it's that kind of thing. So it's there, but it's not accessible.